on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Tristin TaZe. Hope you all are having a wonderful, fantastic day. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel for a brand new Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. In today's video, guys, what we're going to be looking at is the top 5 best class setups you guys can use inside of Call of Duty Modern Warfare as of the brand new update that came out earlier today at the time of this recording. That's right, guys. As of January 12th, there was a brand new update that hit around midnight, and I wanted to give you guys the top 5 best class setups just in case if there's any nerfs, buffs, things of that nature. But before we get into it, if you guys could please leave a like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new, that would be incredibly freaking awesome. Thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have been showing on the channel as of very recently. I have a ton of amazing content planned for you guys, especially around these class setups and everything. But with that being said, let's get into today's video. So the first class setup that I have for you guys is going to be with the AUG. Now, this class setup is definitely one that I've been loving, especially on shipment. And in this, I'm running the monolithic suppressor for the muzzle. I'm running the 407mm extended barrel for the barrel. Commando foregrip, I'm running the NATO 30 round mags. I'm running FMJ, and then for the stock, what I'm running is normally I will be running a heavy stock pro, but typically this is the best class setup that you guys can probably use. Now, if some of you guys don't want to have FMJ on here and maybe want to have an optic, I would personally recommend using either the integral hybrid or the sniper scope, just because, you know, it's easier for a bigger range, control, accuracy, all that type of thing. Now, as well, guys, mostly you guys are going to see the same secondary, which is the 357, the same perks, which are going to be Scavenger, Hardline, and Shrapnel. I think really only 1 or 2 classes in this don't have Shrapnel, and then I'm using Molotov cocktails and the stun grenade. So moving on to the next one, guys, is going to be the XRK M4. Now, this is actually Formal's competitive class setup for the CDL, and on this class there's the compensator for the muzzle, the Corvus marksman barrel, the Cronin mini reflex, and then the commando foregrip. And personally, I'm using FMJ, but probably you could use a certain stock on here. I would probably say the M16 or probably something like the no stock would probably be best. But in terms of things, the accuracy, the damage, the range, and the control on this are going to be really, really good at the end of the day. Again, same secondaries, perks, lethals, tacticals, all that fun jazz. Moving on to the next one, guys, is a custom version of the Sand Snake variant, And so on this, I'm running the compensator, the FSS light barrel, the operator foregrip. I'm still using the 10 auto 30 round mags. And instead of maybe using FMJ on here, what I'm using is that same collapsible stock that is on the base Sand Snake variant and everything. So it is helping out with that mobility. The damage is good, and so forth. Everything kind of falls into place with this gun. And I can tell you, especially with having iron sights on here rather than the integral hybrid, it actually works a lot better. Moving on to the next one, guys, is a class setup that I kind of just threw on the fly today, but it is still a very, very good one, and I'll also show you guys a replacement one if you don't want to run with the P90. Now, in terms of this class setup, guys, I'm using the compensator for the muzzle. In terms of the barrel, I'm using the Forge Tac Retribution, and the reason why is because it's going to help with damage, range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. So the control, the damage, or the accuracy, and the range are going to be absolutely insane. The mobility will not be the best, but normally the mobility in this game is something that you can't really pick and choose with. For the underbarrel, I'm using the Stippled Grip Tape, which is really, really good, and it's going to help with control as well as aiming stability. For this gun, it has sleight of hand personally enabled, but I, as well, guys, would personally use FMJ if anything. And then for the stock, guys, I'm using the Heavy Stock Pro on this gun when it comes down to it. Now, on top of that, guys, if anything, when it comes down to it, personally, myself, I won't run any of these types of things, but what I will run is the PP19 on this one. And personally, what I will tend to do is actually run something probably like the muzzle brake on here, just because it is probably one of the best that you'll have. I'll run the 8.7 steel barrel because, again, it helps with that range, the velocity, and the control at the end of the day. When it comes down to the ammunition, you probably could use the the 64 round mags, but I personally won't end up doing that. When it comes down to it, I am going to actually be running FMJ on this class. And then as well, guys, when it comes down to it, stock-wise, probably I would use the skeleton stock just because it will help with the aim down sight speed and the movement speed. And then at the end of the day as well for this class setup, guys, I'm going to be using most likely the stapled grip tape just because that seems to help out a lot more at the end of the day. And it really seems to help out just whenever I'm using this gun, especially in hardcore. And this gun is a monster, and as you guys can again see, I'm using the same secondary, the same perks, and lethals and tacticals. Now, moving on to my crown jewel class setup, guys, is the FR556. And essentially on this class, what I'm using is the muzzle brake, the commando foregrip, the stapled grip tape. Instead of FMJ, I'm using fully loaded. And then, as well, guys, I'm using ultra light hollow for the stock, which is the first stock that you guys actually unlock. And the reason why this gun is so good is, especially in hardcore, this is a 1 or 2 kill gun easily, or 1 or 2 shot kill easily, you know, from any range. The accuracy, the damage, and the range you guys can see is already insane. There's relatively no reductions in fire rate or control or mobility. So those are already at a high. When you look at the damage is higher than the base accuracy for this gun, and that just makes it even more overpowered. The control is practically the same on this gun. And instead of using shrapnel, I'm using tracker. And the reason why you want to run tracker, especially using this gun in hardcore, is because you're not going to have a UAV always up or able to get, a UAV. So having that tracker is really going to help at the end of the day, just because you're going to be able to see enemies' footsteps immediately as you spawn, occasionally as people are moving throughout the maps, whatever it may be. And then using a Molotov cocktail and a stun grenade, like I previously said. Now, for my kill streaks, guys, because I'm using hardline, you have to remember that it's going to be 1 less kill. So for a UAV, that's 3 kills. I'm using a VTOL jet, so I end up getting that at around 7 kills. And then I'm also using the chopper gunner, which I will end up getting at 9 kills, which is how you guys are seeing me pulling off some of these just crazy 40, 50, 60 to 90, even 100 plus kill games right now, which just relatively is really good. And then instead of using dead silence, I'm using stopping power rounds, which is really going to help you guys at the end of the day, because it just adds practically FMJ immediately to all of your guns for a limited amount of time, which really just makes it overpowered. And also, guys, if you don't want to use my M4 class, one of the other guns that I would personally recommend that I've just been having a lot of good luck with, besides the Kilo or the Odin, is also using the M13 or even that of the Ram 7. So hopefully this video did help you guys out. If it did, please let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know if any of these class setups actually helped you guys kind of get some high kill games or maybe hit some clips or whatever it may be. But with that being said, guys, my name is Tristin, and I'll see all of you in the next one.